Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate some simple select statements written in SQL or structured query language. Here's the data I'm working on. It's a table. It's got 6 fields and 6 records, or if you like, 6 columns and 6 rows. I've pre-prepared all my queries. They're commented out, that's why they're green, and I'll uncomment the queries as I demonstrate them. So the first query is to select the title, year and rating fields from the films table. So if I execute this query, we can see we get all the records but only the title, year and rating fields. So SQL, the structured query language, is used to create a select statement, and select statements always return a table as a result. The select statements are generally used to find certain records. So select statements, if they're to find certain records, we need to have a capability to filter a little bit more and introduce what we call a criteria. So if we have a criteria, in this case year equals 1994, this is like a condition that must be met. So criterias are conditions in a query that must be met, and each record is tested, and if the year equals 1994, it will be included. If it doesn't equal 1994, it will not be included. So I'll just execute that query, and here we go. We've got 2 films where the year is indeed meeting the condition. Year equals 1994. So the criteria is like a condition that must be met. Sometimes we wish to present records in a certain order, and we've got various fields that we could order by. So in this case we're going to order by title. So the order by keyword selects the field to sort by. In this case we are ordering by the title. So here we go, from F to T, the records are presented ordered by title. We know that it's going to be presented from low to high alphabetically because we've got the ascending keyword. So this is what we call the sort order. So the sort order is defining whether it's ascending or descending. If I change this to DESC for descending, it's presented in the reverse alphabetical order. So the sort order is either ascending or descending. So I've just done that with a one where we had like string value, but if a year is numeric, we can still order by the year descending. So that's going from, just let me run that again. That's going from the highest year to the lowest year, and if I change that to ascending, so that's the sort order, that is now going from the lowest year to the highest year. Now, in this case, we may want more fields. So if I have ID, title, year, director, certificate and rating, that's a lot to type out, but I get all the fields returned in the table. A shorter way of doing that is, if you want all the fields, instead of typing a field list, you just use an asterisk, and that means have all the fields from the films table. And there we go, we've got all the fields. So as a reminder, select queries always returns a table, even if I only have one field. So select title from films, I still have a table, it's just a table of one column or one field. Now, if we want to select certain records that begin or end with a certain letter in a certain field, we can use a wildcard. So here I'm going to select all the fields from films, but only where director begins with an S and then has any other characters after that S. And so for that we use the like keyword. So director is like S and then something else. So director is going to begin with an S. In this case, we've only got one record returned. The director is Sam Mendes. If we want the director's name to end with an S, then we put the wildcard first and then the S goes at the end. So here we have 2 records returned where the director's name ends with an S. So hopefully you'll be familiar now with the parts of the select query. We have the fields we want returned, or the field list, the table we are querying from, where we're selecting records from, and the criteria which has to be met. So if I run this, we're selecting the title and year from the film table where the year is 2015, and we've got 2 records returned. So we have a table as a result. Okay. Now sometimes we make errors in our SQL, our structured query language. So for example, if I run this, incorrect syntax near the keyword and. I wanted the title and year fields, but I don't use the word and. I use a comma to separate the fields that I want. So this gives me my title and year fields. So a comma is used, not the word and. Here is another mistake I could make. Let's execute this. Incorrect syntax near director. There's something wrong here. I want to select the director field from films order. It should be order by, shouldn't it? So if I put in the by, order by, now it works. So it's ordered by the director from C to S. We can have very simple select queries. We don't have to define a criteria, for instance. So if we don't, and we just say select title from films, it will select title from every record because there's no criteria that has to be met, no condition that has to be met. So here we get all 6 records returned. Finally, we need to know our comparison operators, because the criteria are conditions at the end of the day, and conditions use comparison operators. So in our first one here, this is select the title and year fields from films where year is less than the year 2000. So all these years are less than the year 2000. In the next example, we're going for where the year is less than or equal to the year 2000. Now when I execute it, there's no difference because actually there's no films where the year is 2000. But that would mean less than or equal to. On this next one, this is where the year is greater than the year 2000. All these are greater than. And the last one is where the year is greater than or equal to the year 2000. And in fact, the result is the same because none of the years in any of their films are the year 2000. So there's none that are equal, but they are. So there's none meeting the equal condition, but they are equally meeting the greater than condition. So there's some queries demonstrated for you, which actually demonstrates in a practical sense everything you need to answer the questions on SQL queries.